Okay, we're back. It's 4.5 hours later, and we pressed the eggplants for at least 4.5 hours. As you see here, we still have the pot of water on them pressed. We'll take that off. You don't need water anymore. And we take the top off. Now it's amazing. This here was this high when we started, and we pressed it all the way down to there. The same eggplants, same everything, it's right there. So they're pressed nice and dry. And what we do is, we'll put this away. What we do now is, I always take, you don't have to, but I always take a piece of Scotch towel and just lay it in there and tap the top off a little bit, just to get the excess. That's all. Now we're ready to jar them. We're ready to put them in jar. While we were letting these here work and pressed on, when we put the press on them, then we took and we cut up all of our hot peppers. As you see here, we got hot peppers. I have them all cut up. I have garlic. About 1.5 cloves we have of garlic. We also have a bulb and a half, not a clove. The whole bulb and a half, almost 2 bulbs. Use a lot of garlic. And we have our capers. I have this is the vegetable oil. It's the vegetable oil. This is virgin oil. Good virgin oil, any virgin oil, and this is your vinegar. And your oregano. Those are the ingredients that are going to go in our first jar. So as we sit down, the first thing we do is take a little oregano, shake it in the bottom. You're going to be putting this in almost every other layer, so you don't need that. Regular olive oil, garlic, and some capers. Capers to your own touch. Years ago, we didn't work with capers. We just used the olive oil and everything else. But now we like them with olive oil. I mean with the capers. Now here's your peppers. A few hot peppers all on the bottom. Couple in there. It depends on how hot you want them. Tablespoon or 2 of vinegar. Now that's your base. Now you take, we take a fork and we take one at a time, and we have to put them in layers in layers. So what you do is you just don't put them in there and keep them flat. This jar is a little low, so until we get it up, we take and flatten them out with the fork. Cover them all, cover all of the peppers and the oregano and the garlic. Now if you just leave them in the middle, what happens is the outsides never get packed down. So I'll show you a little bit more of that later. But until we get it started, we put about 4 or 5 in there. And then we take another little tablespoon of olive oil. This way here, when you put the olive oil and the vinegar in between, that helps it cure. So you don't have to worry about if the olive oil is all on the outside and it doesn't get to the center of the eggplant. Because it's got to cure. These have to cure now for, I would say 7 days. We don't eat these for 7 days. After 7 days, go at them. Little piece of bread, a little prosciutto or ham, and that is wonderful. Now see what happens when sometimes you got the eggplants, the big ones, so they don't fit in the jar. So what I do to keep them flat is a little trick, is I put them in there and I pull up the middle. And I keep the edges all flat in there. and there's a little bubble in the middle, then I pack that down, and then we take a little tapper and we tap it down like this here, and it's all one. And this way they stay nice and even in the jar. And a little, like we said, a little vinegar this time. We did oil last time. We're going to add oil and vinegar to them later at the end. But right now, in between layers, or after you put one or two layers together, and you put a little more olive oil. Then you put a little more vinegar, the next layer. A little oregano. You do it all inside, a little few capers this time. A little olive oil. A couple peppers. Like a little heat. You don't have to put peppers there. You only have to put one or two in. If you don't like it hot, you like it not hot, but just mild. Like a salsa, about as mild as a salsa. You just put a few peppers in, half the amount. See, that's how you set it up. It's getting close to where I can tap this with my fingers. Oh, a little tap yet here with the tapper. Almost getting ready so I can put them in with my hands. I don't need a fork. This is a big one, so we take it and pull it up a little bit. Just to keep the edges so it stays flat. Otherwise, it gets high in the ends and nothing in the middle. Tap it down. Tablespoon of olive oil. Tablespoon of vinegar. A little oregano. Couple of shakes. Some more eggplants. Now it's getting where it's going to go faster because you get to the part where your fingers will do the moving instead of the fork. And now you take, and after you take these now, you're probably saying, well, how about the vegetable oil? When are you going to put that in, Joe? Well, the reason, what we do with this is when you're making them, putting them in jars, you use the regular oil, good virgin oil. After we're done, then we top them all off with the vegetable oil. And the reason for that is, I never refrigerate these. These are always set on the counter, lid on, keep them covered with olive oil or with regular vegetable oil, but I never refrigerate them. But if you have them for a long time and you want to refrigerate them, the vegetable oil mixed with the olive oil keeps it from coagulating. So when it comes out of the refrigerator, they're not coagulated. And it's not all gel. They're just the way you put them in. And that's why we use vegetable oil. And it's a good mixture too. Use good virgin oil for your spoonfuls as you're filling everything in. And then you take and we use vegetable oil on the top. These are beautiful eggplants. We really did a good job getting these eggplants. They're perfect. They're the right size, not a lot of seeds, and they set up real nice. A lot of water come out of them. So when I told you that you cut them about the size of a quarter or half a dollar, also, they're now very thin. I'll show you. I'll hold them up and show you. A little vinegar, 2 spoons of vinegar. And also we top it off to the taste. A little more vinegar at the end also. we'll take the vinegar right out of the jar. See how nice that is? Perfect size. Perfect. Yeah, really nice. And you can do it any time of the year. You can make 1 or 2 eggplants in a jar, make a nice jar yourself. But see, now I've been doing this for a while and got a lot of my family interested in loving them. So when I do it, they all want a jar of their own, so I make them for them. We're going to have a session with them. My son's daughter and son love them. They put them on everything, pizza, everything. I do too. I like them so much, I put them on everything. Not oatmeal, everything but. But it's they're good for any way you like them. I like to come home in the afternoon, just before I turn on Judge Judy. I take and have a piece of bread and a couple eggplants on them. With the olive oil and everything, they're wonderful. My Uncle Paul taught me this a long time ago. He used to make them. He made them all the time, but I started making them and trying to tweak them a little bit. Do a little bit of this, do a little bit of that. And they just never turn out as good as his. So I went to his house one day and I said, now how come mine don't turn out like yours? A couple little things that I changed the whole taste and the flavor of them. So we went back to his way. And then he told me also that he puts capers in them. And that's a good but he's always done capers, so. And you can't make a mistake because you can't put too much garlic. You can't put too much hot pepper, especially if you like hot pepper. If you don't, just put a couple pieces just for a little taste. Now this is just done. This jar is how it's done, and this is how I layered it up. So it's all layered. I'll turn it all the way around. All right.
Beautiful.
Isn't that nice? Now we turn it up here. I'll put regular oil in it now. Now we top it off with vinegar, with a couple more tablespoons of white vinegar. And what you do is after a day or so, this is important also. After they set, you're going to see all the vinegar and oil absorb down into the bottom, and there'll be no oil on top. Well, then you got to check that and add to it. All right. Now you got to keep it always covered. Always got to be covered with olive oil. All right, or regular oil, any oil. If you take some out to eat them, and they're not under oil, and the top isn't under oil, pour a little vegetable oil in it. Now what you do, like tomorrow morning, one day, 24 hours, I'll come here and I'll put some more olive oil, and then I'll take my knife and slide it down the side and let all of that oil and vinegar slide down and get all the way into all of the layers and layers and layers. And as you see, as I'm doing it, all the olive oil left us. We're dry on top, which means we gotta put some more olive oil, some more vinegar. What I'll do is taste it, take a little taste a little later, not right away, next day, and if I see that it doesn't have that little vinegary taste, I'll put another couple tablespoons of vinegar in. You taste it. If you need a little bit more, fine. If you don't, that's fine. That's it. All done. Now we'll come back to you and I'll tell you how many quarts we made and what we made with 12 eggplants, how everything went. And I'm saying goodbye and thanks Uncle Paul for giving me this recipe, and I will carry it on until I die, and my children will carry it on until they die, because that's beautiful. We love you.